I did verify.
Check.
How many minutes?
Guys, go. Good. How are you doing? Where's Ansu?
You got me shoes? I'm guessing right there.
You say this before, right? You John didn't come today, did he? Differently? He's here.
I'm missing some of my shoes. Let me go get them.
They got you back. They have to. Assigned seats. What's good? Good morning, sir. Good. Good.
Yeah. Well, that good job.
The tickets? The 2-1? 820?
820.
Where's the pie guys? The big pies?
Everybody silence their phones.
Calendar days.
I did.
Hello.
No. 123 miles west southeast.
Are
You
you
could
ready
go
for
ahead and
this?
start. Yeah.
He's got a few more coming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the check-in thing.
Yeah, the check-in thing. So I told you the ones I'm not reading.
Okay.
And
get him fixed up. Yeah, but he's a good guy. He does good work. He's very thorough, competent. It's just the schedule, the timing is wrong. Oh, somebody say basketball? Right. It's Tom. It's your turn to bring snacks. Yeah. No. All right. We just thank you for your patience.
Good morning. Welcome to the pre-bid for the March 19th, 2020 letting. Thank you for your patience. And as I go through my notes for each project, if you have any questions, please feel free to interject. And a few comments before we begin. Please silence your cell phones. Remember to sign the attendance sheet. Please include the JP, letting date, county, and call order in all your correspondence with Office Engineer Division. And we will post all pre-bid questions and their responses by Tuesday of next week. And please review the Civil Rights Certified DBE Directory database on ODOT's website for all available DBEs. The sample proposals, plans, geotech reports, and design files, and all revisions are available on ODOT's website. And we will also make every effort to make all pre-bid revisions to the plans and the proposal available by Friday of next week. And all bids for projects requiring pre-qualifications must be submitted via Bid Express, and exception to this policy will be discussed with Office Engineer Division on a case-by-case basis. And there is one exception to this letting, which is our right-of-way project. And any firm bidding a project as a joint venture must complete the request for joint venture form, which is posted on our website as well. And the order form must be used to order plans and proposals, either by fax or email. And Anthony has a comment to make on mobilization.
Okay. Before I make my comment, John Devereaux, Jamie needs your help in office. Can you help her out real quick? Thanks, man. Good morning. Good to see this big group of engineers and consultants and contractors. We must have a pretty big project coming up. I just want to remind you guys, as you do your revisions, everybody knows everything's Tuesday noon, get your revisions into us. And with those revisions, you're also updating your estimates, and thank you for that. Just as a reminder, when you're updating your estimates, don't forget to go back and recalculate your mobilization. The last couple of lettings, I've been noticing our mobilization's off just a little bit, and if we can adjust that as we're going along, we usually can close the gap between the low bid and the estimate by 2 to 3%, which is a big deal. Might not seem a lot to you guys, but it's a big deal in our world in comparing bids. So again, as you're updating your estimates, don't forget to recalculate your mobilization and then enter that in your estimate. All right, thank you.
Okay, so just as Anthony said, all revisions are due by Tuesday of next week, noon, and there will be no pay item changes after that date. The first project is it's called Order 725 in Canadian County. This is on State Highway 3. And on this project, we are revising the plans and the pay items. And as a result of a question. And the question is, the bid item for cold milling pavement is 111,200 square yards. I believe this is a major underrun. There is roughly 106,000 square yards in typical 1 alone, and then you have typical number 2 that is almost 5,200 feet long. at anywhere from 76 feet to 136 feet wide. At a minimum, that is roughly 44,000 square yards. I believe the minimum of the cold milling bid item should be 150,000 square yards, which will then increase your S4 and RBL asphalt, as well as the tack coat. Will there be an adjustment in quantities on an addendum? And yes, the quantities will be revised. Next question. Is there any work to be performed on any side streets or driveways on this project? And the response to that is no. Question 2. The existing roadway has a rumble strip on the shoulder. Will the contractor be responsible for replacing it? The response to that is that yes, and a pay item will be added to account for this work. Question 3. There is at least one instance of guardrail in this section. There is no way to mill the roadway up to the guardrail without coming into contact with it. Are we to get all of the roadway however we can, mill as close as possible, or remove and replace the guardrail? And the response to that is that you are to mill as close as possible to the guardrail without impacting it, and a note will be added to reflect this. Question 4. The general construction note states all mill surfaces must be overlaid the same day as the milling, but the spec book says that we have 48 hours before the disincentive. Please clarify. And the response is all mill surfaces must be overlaid with asphalt the same day of the milling unless different arrangements are made with the resident engineer. Question 5. The general construction notes state that we are constrained to one side at a time. Please confirm. And the response is yes, work will be limited to one side at a time. Question 6. Can we work on all 3.5 miles in one day in one lane of travel? And the response is work will be limited to the amount of surface that the contractor can mill and overlay in one day. The next project is Call Order 740 in Custer County, and this is on State Highway 73. The question is, would ODOT consider increasing the days to 120? And this was denied. The next project is Call Order 760 in Jackson County on US 62 and US 62 eastbound. And on this project, we are removing the flex start special provision. And we are also adding a utility-related delayed work order special provision of September 8th, 2020. And we are also revising the plans. Several questions. The removal pavement marking tape seems to be overstated. Can this be checked? And the response to that is the removable pavement marking tape quantity on the plan is based on lane shift occurring prior to the median opening, located approximately 1,600 feet west of the bridge. Next question. On sheet B10 of the substructure repair details, the numerically placed motor repair detail has a note regarding corrosion inhibitor. And the note states, apply a waterborne corrosion inhibitor to the newly exposed concrete surfaces in accordance with Special Provision 535-1 and the manufacturer's recommendations. And the question is that the APL does not have a waterborne surface applied corrosion inhibitor listed as approved. All the products listed are not waterborne. Can the contractor substitute a material on the APL for that work? And the response is sheet B10 will be revised to state that a surface applied corrosion inhibitor that is listed on the department's approved product list is acceptable. So we're revising the plans on that project. Yeah, they declined it. No, yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, the next project is call order 775 in K County, and these are city streets. And on this project, we're revising the plans and the pay items. Several questions. Has the waterline portion of this project been completed at this point and need to be removed from the proposal? And the response is that yes, the waterline portion has been completed and the plans and the pay items are being revised to remove the waterline. The next question. The Class C concrete for the sign footings is overstated. The current quantity is 5.4 cubic yards per footing and should be 0.07 cubic yards per footing. The planned quantity is 98 cubic yards, whereas it should be 1.33 cubic yards. Can this be revised? Yes, the pay item quantities will be revised. The next project is call order 795 in Major County, and this is a county road. And on this project, we are revising the plans. And then the next project is call order 797 in Major County on US 60. And on this project, we're also revising the plans and the pay items. And there was a question on this project. Can a pay item be added for arrow display type C? These are shown on sheet T3 and T5. And the response is that the plans will be revised to add the pay item. The next project is call order 815 in Okfuskee County, and this is on East-West 107. And on this project, we are revising the plans and the pay items. And there was a question on this project. This project is designed to use turn-down anchors for the approach. The problem is the pay item guardrail, trail, and turn-down 31 inches is intended to be used exactly for what it is called, the trail end, not for the approach. Should you use a trailing end anchor in place of an approach, you run the risk of the vehicle ramping effect. And typically a guardrail anchor unit type A would be used in conjunction with a guardrail anchor unit type DBF, which is the other guardrail pay item being used for this project. The proper combination would be a guardrail anchor unit type DBF attached to the bridge, followed by a guardrail anchor unit type A to serve both as approach and termination of the guardrail. And plans and the pay items will be revised to change the pay item from being a trail end to the combination of a type DBF and a unit type A. Okay. The next project is call order 820 in Oklahoma County, and this is the I-40 project. And I have most of the questions are on this project, so we'll just get on with it. And we are revising plans and the pay items on this project. Question 1. On sheet B162 of the plans, the anchor plate details where the bevels are shown. The engineer shows 2 bevel slope percentages for pier 2. One is 0.5% and the other is 1%. Is the 1% for abutment number 2? If that is not the case, which one do we use, the 0.5% or the 1%? And are we supposed to bevel abutment number 2? And the response to that is the sheet B162 The right detail, pier number 3 and abutment number 2 of the anchor plate details has a typo describing the bevel. The 1% bevel note should be describing abutment 2 and not pier 2, and the plans will be revised. The second question, on sheet B163 of the plans, we want a clarification that we are not beveling abutment number 1 and pier 1. And the answer to that is that correct. There is no bevel on abutment 1 and pier 1 on the anchor plates. All right, next question. Can the S3 asphalt be substituted for CTB under the mainline paving? This is allowed for ramp paving, and this would be at no additional cost to the department. And the response is yes, substitution will be permitted at no cost to the department. Question 2. Will the department add an item for pre-boring at the H-pile locations at retaining walls A, B, C, and F? This is noted for H-pile locations where buried utilities are known to be present. And this is as shown on sheet RW33. And I'm still waiting on a response from ODOT. Okay, so this is still under review. Next part. At what depth should the pre-boring terminate? The full depth of the pile or just below the utility line? And the response to that is that we anticipate the full depth of the pile should be pre-bored. The next question. If a utility is found in conflict with the planned pile location, what margin or tolerance can the contractor move the H-pile to avoid disturbing the utility line? And the response is that the H-pile can be moved as needed. However, the alignment and the number of piles shall remain the same and must be evaluated per each instance. Question 3. Sheet AR04 calls out reference to sheet R96 for design 1 SP barrier wall. Sheet 96 is missing from the plans. Please clarify the call-out sheet reference. And the response is that sheet AR04 has been revised to correct this. Question 4. The mow strip detail shown on sheet RW65 does not indicate the mow strip is incidental to MSE walls or if this work is covered under a contract item. Please clarify how the mow strip is paid. And the response is to see sheet RW1 under payment. The mow strip is incidental to the MSE walls. Question 5. Sheet AR4, the summary of long barrier indicates there are multiple contract items associated with work on Sunny Lane Road. Please clarify the detail sheets for the work on Sunny Lane Road. And the response is that sheet AR04 has been revised to correct this. Question 6. Will the department add a contract item for mechanical splices related to both the I-40 eastbound bridges? There is a pay item for these on the Sooner Road plan set. And this is under review from ODOT. So we'll update you on whatever response we get. Question 7. We request the department to review the DBE goal for this project. Will the department consider amending the goal to 7%? And the response to that is that ODOT has developed a new process in coordination with FHWA, which indicates that a 10% is the appropriate goal for the project. And if the contractor cannot meet or exceed the 10% goal, the department recommends following the good faith effort process available on our website. Okay, the next set of questions. Question 1. Are all utilities clear for this project? And the response is that yes, all utilities are clear other than the water and sewer inclusions that are on JP 2331004. Question 2. ODOT has included line items for the aesthetic foam liners non-biddable that have a set price outside the contractor's control. The special provision states that this material may be procured from multiple vendors. No information is provided as to which vendor, if any, will honor the price provided. Can ODOT provide the quotation with terms and conditions which they based this pricing on? If a vendor price varies for procurement of this material, how would ODOT anticipate handling this change? So what we're going to do is that we are going to post the material costs for the items that are included in the aesthetic foam liner lump sum price that we have put as non-biddable. So we're going to include that in a post that's going to be on our website for you to be able to review. And as always, if whatever bids come in that are outside of that price, that will be handled in the field as probably as a change order in case there's any variations. Okay, the next sets of questions I have no responses for, so if anybody can answer from design, the consultants or ODOT, they can go ahead. Question 1, and this is on NHPPI 00405-394 in the whole. Question 1. The traffic-bound surface course Type E has a plan note R48. There is no R48 plan note in the summary of pay quantities and notes. Please add the note or provide clarification. Just hold on for the mic. John, right here. You might want to leave the mic over there.
We're going to go ahead and look into that and revise as needed.
Okay, so we'll review and revise. Question 2. There is a line item for separator fabric, but the only fabric shown on the typical is the 15-ounce fabric on top of the CTB. Is the separator fabric line item for the 15-ounce fabric, which is normally incidental to the CTB per 2009 specifications, or is this line item for a 6-ounce fabric placed on the stabilized subgrade?
We're going to look into this and
Okay, yes, because I think the CTB, according to our spec book, includes
right.
the separator fabric, so
And that's going to be the intent. We'll have the separator fabric
Deleted.
in the CTB, and we'll delete that line item and make sure that that's not intended for something else.
okay, so we will delete that pay item. All right, question 3. The typical sections do not specify if the shoulders are PC concrete or dowel jointed PC concrete. The only line item is for dowel jointed PC concrete. The plans for the other mandatory type projects specify the separate pavement types. Please clarify.
This is not going to be an easy thing to clarify. We're going to make a case to make sure that they're all dowel jointed, and but we'll go ahead and provide a full response. to
Okay.
this.
Okay, so this will be reviewed. Okay. Question 4. On the sanitary sewer projects, the City of Oklahoma City requires a Raven 405 epoxy coating on all large diameter manholes with large diameter piping in them. The plans do not specifically say this is required. Can clarification be provided?
Yes, we'll
Okay, this will be clarified. Question 5. Can the current City of Oklahoma City specifications for the 42-inch CPP lining be provided?
yes.
So will these be provided in the plans, or is it something that we need to post on our website? Or maybe in
I
the
don't have an
proposal.
answer for that.
Or as a special provision in the proposal?
We can add it as a special provision. That's probably easier.
Okay, all right, so we'll add a special provision. All right, question 6. On the waterline plans, there are line items for bore and jack 20-inch casing and a 20-inch and 20-inch casing. The plans also show a 75 linear foot of 12-inch bore and jack. There is no line item for the 12-inch bore and jack or the 12-inch casing. The quantity for the 20-inch bore and jack and casing is not enough to cover the 12-inch. Can line items be added for the bore and jack 12-inch casing and the 12-inch casing?
The problem we have with the water line plans is when the water line plans were completed, the company that originally did it has now gone out of business. And so we've been making minor changes, but we will have to look into who can change these set of plans now.
Okay.
So we'll look into it.
Okay. All right, question 7. Plan sheets R4, R8, R12, and RW20 have a general note that states 18-inch diameter bolt pilot holes shall be drilled where conflict of utilities are anticipated or could exist. To avoid damage to sanitary oil, etc., all piles shall then be driven into the foundation material line until the axial load resistance from the Gates equation is achieved. The Class C concrete shall then be used to fill the pilot holes to the top. All costs of drilling pilot holes shall be included in other items of work. Can a separate 18-inch pilot holes line item be created with the anticipated needed quantity, and this line item could be used at the engineer's discretion?
We're going to defer to ODOT whether or not you want a pay item.
Rick?
Go ahead and add it.
Okay, we'll add the pay item. Okay, next question. Can the anticipated or potential utility conflicts be identified? And I think this was answered before, that utilities are clear other than the ones that are specified in the JP 23310. Question 10. Shearing and shoring is referenced and anticipated in order to safely construct bridges A, B, C, and D. Can a temporary earth retainage one lump sum line item be added for each bridge? This will allow the contractor to capture any required shoring costs without unbalancing another line item. I think this is for the division.
I'll get back to you on that one. I'll look into it.
Okay, we'll review. Okay, the next project, this is the other tied project, which is NHPPI 095 in the whole. And the first question on that project is that this project does not have a line item for separator fabric. Does a line item need to be added for separator fabric to match the mandatory tied project? And I think we addressed that. The separator fabric is going to be removed from the other project. And question 2 is also regarding the, okay, let me just read it. The shearing and shoring is referenced and anticipated in order to safely construct bridges A and B. Currently, one temporary sheet piling item, one lump sum, is included. Can this be modified to a temporary earth retainage, one lump sum line item for each bridge? This will allow the contractor to capture any required shoring costs without being associated to a specific means and method. You review. Okay, this is also under review. All right. Okay, and that's the only questions I had on that project. Are there any additional questions? Okay, yes. Just hold on.
We had a group of questions that were asked by FHWA. I can hand them to you if you want.
We have them.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
but that's
never mind.
yeah. Okay, the next project is Call Order 850 in Pontotoc County. This is Old State Highway 99. And on this project, we are revising the plans and the pay items. And those are numerous questions. Question 1. Are the patch areas on shoulder outside of the old concrete section that is underneath the asphalt roadway on sheet R9 base repair? And the response to that is that the patching is an estimated quantity for 8% of the overlay pavement area. This patching is anticipated to be a combination of driving lane and shoulder repairs, and no plan change is needed for that. Question 2. Is the intent on the patch areas to compact the subgrade? The typical shows stabilized subgrade. It would be difficult to mix in small areas. And the response to that is the stabilized subgrade will be replaced with subgrade method B, and the plans will be revised. Question 3. If mixing is to be done, could fabric or geogrid be used over the subgrade? And the response to that is subgrade method B will be used in place of stabilized subgrade for the patch areas, and the plans will be revised. Question 4. Will the patches be done prior to milling roadway? And the response is the patching will be completed first. The SuperPave S3 will be placed to the existing grade, and the top 3.5 inches will be removed with the milling, and the plans will be revised to show this. Question 5. Will the S3 6422 be laid to match existing surface before milling operation? If patching is to be done after milling, it would leave mill surface exposed for a long period of time, and that could result in problems. And the response to that is that patching will be completed first. The SuperPave S3 will be placed to the existing grade, and the top 3.5 inches will be removed with milling. The plans will be revised. Question 6. On the reconstruction section, can Broadway Street be closed? Phase 2 on sheet T1 shows it going through the intersection. And the response is that Broadway Street will not be closed. This street return will need to be constructed half at a time. The plan notes will be added to clarify. Question 7. Can median barrier be added to this project? This area will have a 19.5-inch drop-off. The typical on sheet 3 shows that. And the response is that yes, the median barrier will be added for each phase, and the plans will be revised. Question 8. Will one-lane traffic lights and barrier wall be needed for the bridge deck repair to be able to perform this operation? And the response is that the bridge deck repair can be completed in 3 phases to avoid the need for a signal. A barrier wall will be added, and the plans will be revised. The next project is Call Order 880 in Love County, and this is a striping and pavement marking project. And the question is, can the thermoplastic be changed to multipolymer? The surface is very rough. Raul? Okay, so the pay item will be revised. The next project is Call Order 885 in Tillman County, and this is on State Highway 5. And on this project, we're increasing the calendar days from 230 to 300. And we're also revising the plans and the pay items. And this was as a result of a question requesting additional time. Okay, question, will the will transparent stay-in-place forms be allowed as an option for bridges A and B on the State Highway 5 project? And the response is yes, they will be permitted as an acceptable alternative, and a plan note will be added for clarity. The next project is Call Order 895 in Tulsa County. And on this project, we are revising the plans and the pay items. There was a question on the project. How are the bike lane symbols to be paid for on sheet T5? Is the green continental stripes to be paid in the 24-inch pay item? Can this be clarified? And the response is that the green continental stripes will be paid for as part of pay item for the 24-inch stripe, and the plan quantities and notes will be revised for the clarity. The next project is Call Order 900 in Tulsa County on State Highway 51. And on this project, we are revising the plans and the pay items. There were several questions on the project. Will ODOT increase time from 60 calendar days to 90? And the response is no, the request is denied. Question 2, can ODOT verify if this bridge's existing paint system is lead? And we will revise to add lead paint notes. Question 3, will ODOT allow the use of elastomeric mortar in lieu of MAP concrete for the joint repairs? And the response is yes, the department will allow the use of elastomeric mortar in lieu of MAP. Question 4, will ODOT add a pay item for TMA for this project? And the response is yes, the pay item will be added. Next set of questions. On sheet AB2, pay item replace bridge item type A, referring to replacing the bearing assemblies. The engineer will need to make a bearing assembly design showing the anchor bolts, the anchor plates, and the bearing pads in the plans in order to bid this item. And also to touch further on the design, we will need to know if the bearing assemblies will need to bevel or slope of the bridge with elevations at the abutments and piers. And the response to that is that we do not expect any bearing replacements, and the pay item is there just in case issues arise after the blast cleaning. Question 2. Per sheet AB1, the notes for pay item repair bridge item type A, referring to the 3/4 inch diameter balls, what grade of balls are to be used and how long do they need to be? And the response is the balls for repair bridge item type A should be A325N, and we will revise the note to include this information. Question 3. Per sheet AB1, the notes for pay item repair bridge item type B, referring to replace the WT section on sheet B14. Can the non-fracture critical Chappie V notch tested for zone 2 be waived for this material? And the response is that we will revise the note to say the Chappie V notch testing is not required. The next project is Call Order 920 in Woodward County on US 412. And there was a question. Note 12 indicates that the materials from the cold milling item is to become the property of ODOT. Would ODOT consider that all or part of the materials generated by the cold milling pay item become the property of the contractor? And the response is the division will retain the millings as indicated in the plan note. And that is the end of my all my notes on questions. And unless there are any other questions, there is one. Okay. John? Or Andy? Okay. Big guns. Okay, so that's on 820 probably.
John, I hate to have you go back, but going back to call order 820,
820.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
your response to the question on whoever asked the question about the form liners and the aesthetics, non-biddable item,
Yes.
the way I'm interpreting that, I'm just asking if this is correct. that
Uh-huh.
The department will provide online or by addendum the pricing on the materials, on the form liners yourself.
Yes.
Now-
Is Richard here?
I guess the meat of my question is this, that once the contractor determines how many pieces of each different type of form liner to purchase, if that cost exceeds the non-biddable amounts set aside in the contract, the department is open that through change order processes, that non-biddable amount can be increased. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. We did confirm that with the gentleman where we get the form liners from. That's how they're going to handle it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, just hold on. So call order 855 is Potawatomi I-40,
Yeah, can we
Eh.
add arrow boards to there?
and you want arrow boards, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's, is there anyone here from Division 3? Okay. Not here. Okay, I'll check that and I'll let you know. Yes. Any other questions? All right, thank you. You have a good weekend, and all revisions are due by Tuesday of next week.
Tuesday noon.
Tuesday noon.